Assassin's Creed Shadows delayed once again. Who would have expected this? That people don't exactly want to play an Assassin's Creed game made in Japan where you're playing as a black dude who just slaughters every native who does not bow to him. I mean, if you want to see that, don't you just go to New York as an American? I'm pretty sure you can see that there on the streets every day anyway. We don't need a game about this. But yes, unsurprisingly, another delay. Because everyone knows that Ubisoft is done. They are probably scrambling behind the scenes harder than anyone can imagine. Their company is on the literal brink of goddamn collapse. They have lost at least 1.2 billion in this year alone, and that's with trying to hide expenses and push them to the next year so they don't have to put them on the bank statements and shit. Oh my god, this is a disaster. Ubisoft is dead, and that puts a smile on my face, boys. I love it, McDonald's. Thank you.
Assassin's Creed Shadows is being delayed again, this time being pushed to March 20th, 2025, without much information as to why it's happening, except for, hey, we need more time to work on bugs and fixes, and it's gonna be great. Please stay with us. Don't leave.
It has nothing to do with bugs and fixes. Initially, people were talking about the delays being, oh, they just wanna wait a little bit of time until people forget about Assassin's Creed Shadows being a complete fucking shitfest. Well, obviously, people are not gonna forget that. The moment Assassin's Creed Shadows is about to drop, people are gonna be singing its praises about being the most DEI woke-riddled slop fiesta that you have seen in the past couple of years. There's no avoiding that. Okay, listen, there is literally no avoiding that. But now they're just pushing it off constantly, and this is obviously not about bug fixing. Now, don't get me wrong, the game's probably a buggy mess and no one really wants to play it, but no one really wants to play it anyway, even if it wasn't a buggy mess. So, something else is happening. There is a theory that people are that maybe Ubisoft is trying to sell the company off. Yves Guillemot, aka, is trying to sell the company off to like Tencent or whatever, before the game drops, because he understands the moment this game drops. Again, I said this multiple times. The moment Assassin's Creed Shadows drops, it's over for Ubisoft. They have put the most money probably in their history in this game. And it's most likely going to sell maybe 2 million copies, in my opinion. It's completely over. And maybe he wants to sell something, secure some kind of funding, because the moment Assassin's Creed Shadows drops, it's over. It's over. If you think a 95% stock drop is bad, what they currently have, or whatever much it is, wait until this drops and then see this company being literally traded for pennies.
Please. What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Smash JT. Ubisoft has officially announced the second delay for Assassin's Creed Shadows, posting this memo on Twitter today, letting everyone know that it is now going to be releasing on March 20th, 2025, because they're committed to making it a great experience. You know, the quote-unquote game that plays more like a DEI agenda instead of an actual adventure experience, but don't let details get in the way of a good diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Bro, you know what actually happened with Assassin's Creed Shadows? I saw this on Twitter, I think 2 days ago. And it was Jor Raptor somehow getting a viral tweet with 2 million views that literally said, "Oh, look at how great Assassin's Creed Shadows is! Look at how great it is! You can run while enemies are attacking you, and then you can jump over boxes." Yeah, that is 100% botted. That is 100% paid marketing, undisclosed paid marketing at this point. Because, listen, when a company is gonna go fucking tits up like Ubisoft, I would not be exactly worrying about doing something as trivial as disclosed marketing. By the way, Ubisoft, I am 100% for that. You know, just give me some money, I'll pretend nothing happened. And you know, Assassin's Creed Shadows good. Options.
Propaganda piece. Hit that subscribe, give me a like, and check out smashjt.com for the full article breaking down Assassin's Creed Shadows being delayed yet again, much to nobody's surprise. Dear players, we want to extend our heartfelt thanks to our incredible fans and dedicated teams for your unwavering support since our announcement in September to further refine and polish Assassin's Creed Shadows. And stopping right there and looking at it like, I don't know what the unwavering support from the fans would be, because from what I'm seeing and surveying the landscape, nobody wants to support this game for the vast majority of gamers, except for the die-hard Assassin's Creed fanboys out there. This game is going to fall flat on its face.
The reality is, even the die-hard Assassin's Creed fanboys, yeah, they're gonna buy it, but they're not gonna shill for it. There are super fanboys that buy this stuff, but but even a small percentile of them only is gonna be like, no, this is the best thing ever, and try to defend it for no reason. Even the super fanboys. I mean, we already saw this with Starfield and Bethesda, and especially Starfield Shattered Space. I've often mentioned Starfield and Starfield Shattered Space because it is truly a turnaround point. Because Bethesda is known for super mega fanboys. People who will do everything and anything they can to say that Bethesda best company ever, Bethesda games amazing, and all of that stuff. But even they gave up on Starfield, and they did not even try to defend Shattered Space. They themselves didn't even play Shattered Space. Jesus! That tells you more than a Raffaello box. Fuck, and Raffaello tells more than 1,000 words. That's insane. That's like two years of life for your average Zoomer in conversation with other people. Wow. Okay? And they didn't. So the Assassin's Creed super fanboys, I don't think they're gonna bat for Assassin's Creed Shadows. Now, I do think they're gonna make some sales with this. But no, it's definitely not gonna be enough. I would not be surprised hearing a year or two later that Assassin's Creed Shadows costed, with this delay, 600 to 700 million to make. I would not be even slightly surprised. All the marketing, all the shit that they have done, Ubisoft's crown jewel, it's not gonna be close.
Since November, we've been thrilled to share our progress through gameplay overviews, and the overwhelming excitement has truly inspired us. This reads like a marketing puff piece that they're just trying so hard to pretend like la 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 la, fingers in our ear. There's no problems here. Just ignore all that community feedback we've been getting over the past year or two since this game got officially announced to everybody, and that we had a black main protagonist in feudal Japan, and we made some creative liberties when it came to Yasuke and who he actually was in real life compared to what we're making him in this game. But don't worry about that, because we're going to fit the agenda that we're pushing forward. Each week has brought valuable feedback from our community. While we've already made remarkable strides, we believe a few additional weeks are needed to implement that feedback and ensure an even more ambitious and engaging day one experience.
Initially, people were talking about the delays that they are trying to cut Yasuke out of the game as much as possible. But that's obviously not going to happen. If you cut him out of the game, Ubisoft is filled with activists and zero-talent people. Those people would not take it. Because again, activists are insane people. They literally are gonna just actually quit their job if, Ubisoft suddenly decided they are not gonna go woke and broke. They would just quit. The activists inside Ubisoft would never agree with the removal of Yasuke. They would burn the company down faster than Gilmo himself to prevent that from happening. And it can't happen, because if you're going to remove him, you might as well make the game from scratch.
So apparently, according to this, they're delaying the game because they need more time to fix bugs and glitches and make the game more enjoyable day one experience. I don't know. I find that very hard to believe, especially when you look at the history of what transpired when the game got delayed initially and how there were reports that they were trying to diminish the role of Yasuke in the overall game storyline because they
Yeah.
realized what a massive
I really do not believe that's happening. And even if they minimize it again, so it's still there. It's still a problem. Even if you minimize it, it's still a disaster.
mistake they made pushing him front and center. The game's still on track. It's feature complete. We just need to polish it up a bit to make sure it looks great and it runs perfectly so there are no issues with it. When in reality, behind the scenes, apparently Ubisoft is looking at this game saying, we need to completely remove Yasuke and replace him with a new character from Japan and redo the entire game. Accordingly,
No
the new
way.
release date is March 20th, 2025. We remain committed to delivering a high quality, immersive experience fostered by ongoing dialogue between our players and development teams. So here they're saying, hey, don't worry about our creative decisions. We're definitely totally listening to you guys. Just give us that feedback and we'll have some communication. We know you're eager to learn more about Assassin's Creed Shadows, and we're excited to share that more updates will be coming your way very soon. Mark Alexis Cote on behalf of all the teams working on Assassin's Creed Shadows. So this message comes out from Ubisoft, and it's just like, okay, Ubisoft is at a
Wait, was it not Thieves Gilmo?
near all-time low with their stock. They've lost over 80% of their stock value in the past 5 years alone.
Oh no, it was Thieves Gilmo. I just googled to double check. But I recognize the other name who signed that shit. Who is that? I forgot.
And it has been dropping like a rock, and this game is their last hurrah, and it looks like nobody's going to be buying it. Bird Talk says, the fact it hasn't released makes Assassin's Creed Shadows an asset of potential value. This makes Ubisoft more attractive to potential buyers who would profit off the game sales post-acquisition. If Ubisoft releases it before the studio sale, all benefit is lost to the buyer.
Not even through in the slightest, okay? So, first of all, there's two ways that you can look at this. One is as a stockholder, two is as someone who likes to, get dividends or something like that. First of all, Ubisoft is not gonna. I don't know if they pay dividends in the first place, but like fuck Ubisoft is gonna ever pay dividends in the near, I don't know, 10 years because of their horrific stock price and backlash and everything. Now, admittedly, paying dividends is a tactic to actually make these failing companies more appealing to investors, but Ubisoft can't probably do that. If Ubisoft is paying out dividends for their stock, that's the biggest red flag ever. I don't know if they even pay out dividends. I will not check. But if they are, because no company pays out dividends when they need to improve their shit. That's like literally admitting that, okay, we're dead. It is what it is. We're just trying to get idiots to buy our stock. Second of all, people who actually do any research will know that, well, Assassin's Creed Shadows launching is gonna be bad. It's not gonna make Ubisoft more expensive. So, the idea of getting people to invest in Ubisoft in the hopes that Assassin's Creed Shadows goes out and a magical line in the sky go up, not happening. Not happening. Now, admittedly, this is what I think is gonna happen. Assassin's Creed Shadows is gonna be announced. And, Ubisoft is going to get their 5% bump whenever it gets announced. And after that, it's going to be like minus 20-30%. Because after the IGNs are done shilling, after the Kotaku's PC gamers are done with their fluff pieces, our voices are going to be the only thing that's left. And our voices are going to be, oh my god, this is horrendous. Anyone who bought this has just wasted money. That would be it. So this does not work like that. Theoretically, stuff like this can work. But, I mean, Dude, even BlackRock wouldn't fucking buy Ubisoft at this point because they would know enough about it and know that it's dead.
Ubisoft's recent announcement regarding the delay of Assassin's Creed Shadows to March 20th, 2025 may just sound like a simple extension to improve the game, but no, in reality, it reeks of desperation. This delay isn't about delivering quality, it's about stalling for time while a sinking ship tries to plug its holes. Ubisoft has already been facing extreme financial turmoil, and Shadows is a last-ditch effort to remain relevant, one that
Bro, the people are just bowing to their black god, and this person is so stupid he doesn't even know in which direction to bow.
Effort to remain relevant, one that anyone paying attention knows it won't work. This is a
I love how they just made this to glorify blacks in Japan because of reasons.
far cry from the industry titan that Ubisoft used to be. Like, I get it. It was a long time ago, but trust me, they used to be a force to be reckoned with. But I guess this is what happens when you let DEI take over your entire organization. From inception, Assassin's Creed Shadows was a blatant vehicle for diversity, equity, and inclusion propaganda. Rather than having any kind of meaningful addition to the Assassin's Creed franchise, this game pushed forward the inclusion of Yasuke, a black character who was not a samurai, but portrayed
It doesn't matter that he's not a samurai. Listen, what matters is that he's a fucking assassin, theoretically. I mean, my god, is he good at blending in the fucking crowd.
Is one to fit a narrative. This isn't any kind of real organic story.
And this one's even better. Everyone's just walking around normally, and this one's like... Fuck off, Ubisoft. Dude, the early Assassin's Creed games were actually about blending in, being an assassin and shit. This is like just a complete parody of what Assassin's Creed's games used to actually be like.
Story choice.
This is literally more Call of Duty than Assassin's Creed somehow.
Was a box-ticking exercise. An exercise that I'd argue put Ubisoft in terrible shape. The game began development back in 2020 during the height of the George Floyd riots, and it's clear by now to everyone paying attention that...
Whoa. Calling those riots is kind of racism, okay? They were freedom fights and stuff.
Ubisoft was aiming to capitalize off of the very prominent, at the time, Black Lives Matter movement by producing a game, and I use that word very loosely, steeped in the ideology of the Black Lives Matter movement. A narrative that makes absolutely zero sense when you take a step back and seeing how they injected a black lead main protagonist in feudal Japan. Okay, like,
I mean, where else is he gonna be injected in?
Actually might have gotten away with this if it was literally anywhere else. But doing what they did with Japan, it's just like, come on. How stupid do you think people are? Instead of resonating with fans, making a game in feudal Japan steeped in lore and engaging experiences, Ubisoft felt to instead take an approach that has completely backfired. And when players and critics alike are questioning Ubisoft's priorities, you really got to take a step back and say, man, what the hell was Ubisoft even thinking with this? Justin on X said, Yasuke would have been better served as a bonus unlockable character for a New Game Plus. Maybe him, a lost British...
Even that was bad.
...soldier, and the villain could be playable for a New Game Plus. But he simply does not work as the main protagonist. Nothing can change that. And honestly, I couldn't agree more. The way you put this guy front and center in the game, people are going to look at it like, I mean...
Okay, let's not forget the second character is literally a twink, who I already forgot what gender was it supposed to be.
Is anyone going to say anything?
Greed cannot rule this village. Not while I have breath in my lungs and a blade in my hand.
Yeah!
Kill him!
Yeah! I do it. The fact that that's American whatever music, and he's supposed to be from Africa?
And as As I spoke about in a previous video, rumors had been circling that Assassin's Creed Shadows is being reworked currently to significantly reduce the role of Yasuke in the overall narrative
You can already tell that this person has been divorced thrice.
of the game, directly in reaction to the backlash from players who felt like his inclusion was more about virtue signaling than any kind of serious, authentic storytelling. And that would explain why it's not only had one delay, but now a second delay, because when you rework an entire storyline and roll back how much somebody was a part of a game, it takes a lot of time and work. The statement from Mark Alexis Cote highlights how the delay is intended to incorporate valuable feedback from our community. And while that might sound noble on surface, we all know the corporate speak by now. It begs the question, why wasn't the feedback sought after earlier in the development cycle? If they care so much about it, why did you...
Well, meme answer because they're stupid. Real answer because toxic positivity is a thing. They probably, because all of them in Ubisoft are of the same ilk, of the same breed. They all are what we would normal people describe as toxic positivity, unironically. And, you know, they were all fine with it. That's how you get a game like this, because they all agreed with this, and the people who did not agree got, damn, fired. That's it, go home.
You wait until the game's about to come out to say, hey, we gotta delay it because we're listening to feedback now. It doesn't make any sense at all, except in the light of they realized how bad they effed up and how people are closing their wallets, don't want to
Yeah, stomp that honorable kill's head.
purchase this game, and they're saying, all right, we actually need to adjust course before we come out with this, because otherwise we're completely screwed. Ubisoft's promise of a more ambitious and engaging day one experience feels hollow when placed against their track record of buggy launches and underwhelming gameplay. Could this be true? Sure, but at this point, given their history, the likelihood of Shadows delivering a polished experience by March is slim at best. Most gamers aren't even concerned about the bugs when it comes to this game though, because there's been so many Assassin's Creed games that have come out before that they're like, sure, Ubisoft can get that right. But that's not the problem. It's the whole DEI injection with this game that people are very hesitant with. They're like, what are you doing with the storyline? What are you trying to sell to me? Why?
Dude, the thing is, we know nothing about the storyline. Just this alone is enough to make people run for the hills effectively. Imagine how bad this is gonna be when we hear about the storyline. What is Yasuke's role? What are the choices? What is the story? Holy shit, the Black Emperor God through Samurai King of Japan is not gonna be a meme, boys. It's gonna be reality. Because the story is probably even worse than this. Because you can't make all of this DEI nonsense and not make the story pure poison, okay? If you thought World of Warcraft's The War Within was garbage and a nothing burger, like, this is gonna be thrice that. It's gonna be amazing. Anyway, that was Smash JT 10 out of 10. Bye!